coupe with the white body kit from Pixelsun. In the previous video you did see how it's printed, how it's fitted, how it's glued and primed. In the episode 2 you will see how it's continued the painting. If you remember, on the previous episode we primed with Mr. Surfacer 1000, and after the surfacing, checking the body, adjusting where it was needed further. So this grey primer is wonderful for finding out the gaps and details. As every 3D printed elements, you need to fix things where the line is not going as smooth should be, and also between the body kit and the body should have a space, a small space. If this space not exists, with a small sanding paper you can make it happen. And we're adding 1500 surfacer before the painting, because 1000 surfacer is good for rough and the paint to stick to the surface, and 1500 is a smooth surfacer, finisher surfacer. These are the final steps before real painting. This Mr. Hobby Mr. Surfacer primer is compatible with almost all paints. You don't need to worry on that. I use the grey primer because the best for seeing the surface problems. Looks we are ready for painting. Don't see any issues. Use the BMW Sunset Orange C1X color code. This is an automotive paint. This is a base paint. It's a one component base paint where you get an appropriate thinner for it. So you need to ask in the car paint shop what's the right thinner for it, thinning to the right ratio. This has smooth, small reflecting particle inside. That is why this paint is very special. This is exactly the same paint that's used for real cars, so you will see exactly the same results. The only thing that this type of paint requires enough thinning, and another thing that you don't expect that it will be flattening or it will be swimming on the surface. It's like a kind of metal or chrome paint, a kind of metal paint, which adding small layers, small smooth layers to the surface. So you need to go in multiple rounds to reach the expected outcome. Don't worry, this is adding small and small layers like real metal paint. So this technically means you need more than 5 layers. Roughly I put 6 layers of coats. The first layer was just hardly covered 20% of the base primer. So think on that. Just for real coverage I had to put 5 paints, and on the 5 paints I added extra 1 or 2 where I felt okay, it's a right coverage and not oversprayed the surface. And I didn't have any clogs, I didn't have any problems. This automotive paint Went much better with any hobby modeling paints without any issues. The thinning did the job great. The appropriate thinner for it. And you can see it started shining like sunset orange. Depends on what light you see it, whether it's dark or whether it's light, shiny. It's reflecting paint due to the small particles. These particles are very, very small. Not stick them, not clog to the airbrush. It was a wonderful job. I used this special airbrush, applying the paint. It's sprayed like in a lunar shape, and based on the thinning ratio, it's performed. If in case I thin more, it's when to added more paint on it, but you can apply with any type of different airbrush how you want to deal with. Later I applied the panel lines with another airbrush, just for example. So you can see these panel lines will be better to apply with another smaller airbrush to get the paint into the panel lines. You don't need to worry about this automotive type airbrush. Paint the rest of the body, and you can fix with smaller airbrush, smaller nozzle. This automotive type of airbrush is even a 0.5 nozzle, but the spray area is like a line or a lunar line, lunar shape. Just spraying a whole line where I'm moving. So it's good for surfacing the whole body, and the small panel lines you can go into a small 0.2 nozzle, small airbrush. You can see the colors start turning and reflecting the base sunset orange that we want to achieve. It's beautiful. Roughly we are at least at 5 layers now in this view. Smaller airbrush helping to fix the lines, panel lines, smaller areas where a large airbrush did not go. Did not feel difference spraying this automotive paint with a smaller airbrush. Went well. Then I adjusted the surface, the light coat for each panel. So then equal closure and painting. Wanted to make sure this returning this dark sunset orange and light on the sunlight, the reflecting paint. Here is the result, wonderful, amazing. This is a real BMW tunnel. Okay, so go ahead for the parts. You remember on the previous video we have printed some spoiler elements for the wide body kit. They have painted, and we're fixing now some defects and priming forward the other parts like the seats. These BMW M seats. The interiors, the door panels. If you prime these interiors, the paint is sticking easier, better, and also you see any defects happening on the panel. The small door openers, inner outer small elements, brake calipers. These are the rear brake calipers, smaller ones. Interiors for air intake and door openers. Steering wheel. All important. You should have some primer layers on that. I usually do that. Mirrors. Mirrors will get outer paint and coat, so it's better to do. Exhaust pipes. Lamps. And the results after proper priming. You get nice paint outcome. Don't forget, use the right primer, the right paint, the right airbrush and right technique.